You don't like to bring your family to fights that you feel like are going to be a war. Do you feel like this is a fight that you'll bring your family to?
Welcome back, fight fans. You're tuned into the ultimate boxing hub where the latest dramas, sizzling hot bouts, and the most anticipated matchups take center stage. Today, we're diving deep into the electrifying rivalry between Gervonta "Tank" Davis and Lamont Roach as they gear up for their December showdown. Trust me, things have been heating up, and if you thought these two would simply shake hands and show sportsmanship, think again. So, buckle up, grab your popcorn, and let's unpack all the tension, trash talk, and fiery moments leading up to their next clash. Let's kick things off with Gervonta "Tank" Davis, the man currently dominating the boxing scene. Tank strides into every room with an air of ownership. And why not? He's undefeated, boasting highlight reels that stretch for days. His swagger exudes confidence, making it clear he's a force to be reckoned with. When Tank arrived for their final face-off, his presence was undeniable. He donned a custom-designed tracksuit that screamed star quality, letting his body language do all the talking. There was no need for words. His stance and demeanor declared, "I'm here and I'm ready to dominate." But Tank wasn't alone in his quest for supremacy. Enter Lamont Roach, a name that might not ring as loudly yet, but is rapidly making waves in the boxing world. Roach has quietly risen as one of the premier counterpunchers in the game. While he may not pack Tank's knockout power, his technical prowess and strategic mind make him a formidable opponent. Roach entered the fight with a clear game plan: press the right buttons and exploit Tank's aggressive style. His approach is methodical, aiming to dismantle Tank's power with precision and skill. From the moment these two met, the atmosphere was charged with anticipation. Tank, with his intimidating presence, tried to assert dominance early on. He looked to scare Roach, signaling that the fight was already in his mind. However, Lamont Roach wasn't having any of it. This is where the real intrigue begins. Roach remained unfazed, even smirking and maintaining his composure as Tank attempted to get under his skin. Roach wasn't just there to fight, he was there to challenge Tank's reign and prove his own mettle. The verbal sparring between them escalated quickly. Roach didn't hesitate to critique Tank's recent bouts, pointing out that Tank had been knocking out opponents without heart. "Let's see how you handle someone who can take your power and give it right back," Roach taunted. Tank, clearly unsettled by Roach's resilience, found himself rattled. This rivalry transcended mere boxing, it became a full-blown mental war. The fans love a good rivalry, and this one has reached a boiling point, promising an explosive December matchup. When analyzing what makes a good fight, Tank Davis is a top contender. To triumph over Roach, Tank needs to stick to his strengths: relentless boxing, movement, and maintaining his aggressive pressure. However, executing this against a crafty counterpuncher like Roach is no small feat. The rivalry between these two has been simmering for months, primarily fueled by their interactions on social media. Tank has been vocal online, dismissing Roach as just another tune-up opponent who lacks the skills to compete with the division's elite fighters. In response, Roach fired back, asserting that Tank hasn't faced true competition in years and implying that Tank's legal troubles and time in prison have left him psychologically weaker. This back and forth has only intensified the animosity between them. Fast forward to their final meeting before the December fight, and the tension was palpable from the start. Tank gave Roach the infamous stone-cold stare, as if he was already envisioning how he would dominate Roach in the ring. Roach, on the other hand, appeared ready and eager, as if he had been waiting his entire life for this moment. The crowd was electric, fully anticipating an all-out brawl. Security had to step in multiple times to prevent the situation from escalating further, highlighting just how heated the encounter had become. This wasn't merely a face-off, it was a full-fledged verbal battle that set the stage for an epic showdown. Let's break down what's truly at stake here. Gervonta Davis is the reigning king of knockouts with an impeccable record that speaks volumes. His ability to finish fights decisively has made him a fan favorite, and his most recent knockout of Ryan Garcia with a vicious body shot is still fresh in everyone's mind. Tank doesn't just win, he makes a statement every time he steps into the ring, which is precisely why this fight is so compelling. As the odds-on favorite, Tank is not just looking to maintain his status, but to reaffirm his position as the best in the division. On the flip side, Lamont Roach brings a different set of skills to the table. While he may not have Tank's one-punch knockout power, his technical boxing skills and exceptional footwork make him a dangerous opponent. Roach has meticulously studied Tank's fighting style, understanding his strengths and weaknesses. His strategy revolves around counterpunching, frustrating Tank's aggressive advances, and keeping the fight on his own terms. If Roach can effectively dodge Tank's power shots and capitalize on his own technical advantages, he stands a real chance of pulling off a significant upset. Their history adds another layer of intrigue to this matchup. Both fighters have crossed paths multiple times, dating back to their amateur days and sparring sessions. Tank has come out on top in several of these encounters, but both men have evolved since then. Now older and more experienced, their rematch in December is more than just a fight, it's a test of their growth and adaptability. The fact that they have a shared history means that this bout is as much about personal rivalry as it is about professional competition. Eddie Hearn, a prominent figure in boxing promotion, weighed in on this historic matchup. He acknowledged the criticism surrounding the fight, but maintained that it's not a bad fight. Hearn pointed out that Lamont Roach is a legitimate world champion with his own credentials, even if he's not as widely recognized as Tank Davis. According to Hearn, Roach possesses the skills to compete at a high level, but the challenge lies in raising his profile. Hearn believes that while this fight might not be the biggest on the calendar, it's far from a terrible one, promising an intriguing clash between two talented fighters. As we approach Fight Night on December 14th, the anticipation continues to build. Tank Davis enters the ring as the favorite, but Roach's technical prowess and strategic mind make this an intriguing contest. The outcome hinges on whether Tank can maintain his aggressive pressure against a skilled counterpuncher, or if Roach can outmaneuver Tank and exploit his weaknesses. This fight has all the elements of a classic boxing showdown: power versus technique, aggression versus strategy, and an intense personal rivalry that adds depth to the competition. For fans looking to understand the dynamics of this fight, it's essential to consider both fighters' motivations and preparations. Tank Davis is not just fighting to defend his title, he's fighting to solidify his legacy as one of the greats. Every knockout, every dominant performance adds to his reputation, and he's determined to keep that momentum going. On the other hand, Lamont Roach is hungry for his moment to shine. He's seen the opportunity to dethrone Tank as a chance to prove himself on the biggest stage, and he's meticulously preparing to seize it. The tactical battle inside the ring will be fascinating to watch. Tank's power is his greatest weapon, but it's also his potential Achilles' heel. If Roach can weather the storm and extend the fight, his superior boxing skills and endurance could turn the tide in his favor. Roach's ability to read Tank's movements and counter effectively will be crucial. It's a classic matchup of power versus precision, and the outcome could hinge on who can better implement their game plan under pressure. Moreover, the psychological aspect cannot be overlooked. Tank's confidence is a double-edged sword. While it fuels his aggressive style, it also makes him vulnerable to underestimating his opponent. Roach, with his calm demeanor and strategic mind, might have the mental edge needed to outlast Tank's intensity. The mental stamina to stay focused and execute under the high stakes of this fight could ultimately decide the winner. As we count down to December 14th, the excitement continues to mount. This fight isn't just another bout on the calendar, it's a pivotal moment for both fighters. For Tank Davis, it's about reaffirming his dominance and continuing his undefeated streak. For Lamont Roach, it's about seizing the opportunity to elevate his career and prove his worth against one of the division's best. The clash of these two fighters promises to deliver high-stakes action, strategic brilliance, and the raw emotion that makes boxing such a compelling sport. In conclusion, the upcoming fight between Gervonta "Tank" Davis and Lamont Roach is shaping up to be one of the most anticipated matchups of the year. With Tank's knockout power and confidence pitted against Roach's technical skill and strategic mind, fans are in for a thrilling contest. Their shared history adds a personal dimension to the fight, making it more than just a battle for the title, but a test of their growth and